Imagine waking up every single day only to realize that your own mind has declared a silent war against you. It does not hit you with physical punches or visible scars, but instead, it quietly rewires your perceptions, steals your joy, and traps you inside a dark reality that no one else can see. Worldwide, over 1 billion human beings are fighting invisible battles against their own neurochemistry right now. Among these mental conditions, depression stands as one of the most pervasive and misunderstanding disorders in human history. Depression is not simply a bad mood, a rough day, or a temporary wave of sadness that you can easily snap out of. Sadness is a natural reaction to loss that carries a clear story and cause. But clinical depression is a full chemical blackout within the brain. It fundamentally breaks the way your central nervous system processes crucial neurotransmitters like serotonin and dopamine, which are responsible for motivation, pleasure, and human connection. When these biochemical pathways malfunction, the entire world loses its vibrant color and collapses into a dull, agonizing gray. You wake up utterly exhausted after 10 hours of sleep. Simple meals taste like cardboard, and hobbies that once ignited your passion now feel completely meaningless. Depression speaks to you in a heavy, convincing whisper, telling you that nothing will ever get better and that you are an unbearable burden to everyone around you. When well-meaning people advise you to just think positively or go for a walk in the sun, they fail to grasp that you cannot simply think your way out of a physiological brain impairment. Thoughts slow down to a painful crawl. Basic decision-making becomes utterly overwhelming, and getting out of bed feels like physically scaling a massive mountain. You slowly isolate yourself from loved ones, not because you lack affection for them, but because wearing a fake smile takes energy you simply do not possess. Over time, untreated depression reshapes your very identity, convincing you that this empty numbness is who you truly are, and that hope was merely an illusion all along. While depression drains the energy out of your existence, generalized anxiety disorder does the exact opposite by overloading your system with relentless, terrifying adrenaline. Normal worry serves an evolutionary purpose by preparing you for real challenges, like an exam or a job interview. But anxiety disorder turns your brain's natural threat detection system into a faulty fire alarm that constantly screams at full volume. Your amygdala misfires repeatedly, treating mundane daily tasks like severe, life-threatening emergencies. You lie awake in the middle of the night, breathlessly simulating extreme catastrophes that haven't happened and likely never will. You obsessively analyze a brief 5-second conversation for 3 straight days, convinced you said something terribly wrong that destroyed your relationships. Physically, your body remains trapped in a perpetual fight-or-flight state. Your muscles stay chronically tight. Your stomach churns, and your heart races wildly without any logical reason. This constant physiological stress leaves you thoroughly drained because your nervous system is working overtime to protect you from phantom threats. This intense internal chaos often bleeds into obsessive-compulsive disorder, which traps the mind in an agonizing loop of severe intrusive thoughts and desperate physical or mental rituals. OCD is not a cute quirk about wanting a clean room or organized books. It is an intense mental prison. It begins with an obsession, a horrific, unwanted image or fear that invades your mind, such as the terrifying belief that your home will burn down if you don't act. To relieve the suffocating terror, your brain forces you to execute a compulsion, like checking the stove 20 times or washing your hands until they crack and bleed. The temporary relief lasts only a few fleeting seconds before the brain demands you repeat the entire exhausting ritual again, holding your sanity hostage under the false promise of safety. Moving deeper into the human psyche, disorders like attention deficit, hyperactivity disorder, and post-traumatic stress disorder demonstrate how fundamentally our perception of time, focus, and memory can be altered. ADHD is widely misunderstood as a simple inability to pay attention or sit still. But scientifically, it is a complex executive dysfunction rooted in a severe dopamine deficiency within the prefrontal cortex. An ADHD brain does not lack attention. Rather, it lacks the biological ability to regulate where that attention goes. When faced with an engaging task, it can hyper-focus for hours, completely losing track of time and reality. However, attempting to complete a routine or mundane task feels like a physical impossibility, creating an agonizing gap between your best intentions and your actual actions. You watch yourself fail to start crucial work while internal frustration eats you alive, leading to misplaced accusations of laziness from the outside world. On another end of the spectrum lies PTSD, a condition where trauma permanently breaks the brain's ability to file past events into history. When a person experiences a terrifying event where their life or safety is threatened, the nervous system can fail to process the memory correctly. Instead of becoming a distant memory, the trauma remains actively present. A sudden loud noise, a specific smell, or a random visual cue can immediately trigger a full flashback, forcing the individual to physically re-experience the horror all over again. During these terrifying episodes, your heart explodes with adrenaline, your vision narrows, and your brain genuinely believes you are back in that life-threatening scenario. You live in a constant state of hypervigilance, scanning every room for hidden danger, exhausted by an internal alarm system that refuses to accept that the war is already over. The mind can also swing violently between extreme emotional states, as seen in bipolar disorder and panic disorder, creating an unpredictable environment where stability feels completely impossible. Bipolar disorder forces an individual onto a chaotic emotional roller coaster, cycling back and forth between two drastic poles known as mania and depression. During a manic phase, your brain floods with an intoxicating surge of energy and grandiosity. You feel superhuman, surviving on just 2 hours of sleep, speaking at a rapid pace, and launching multiple massive projects simultaneously. Brilliant ideas race through your head faster than you can express them, and risky financial or personal decisions suddenly seem like stroke of genius. However, this manic high burns at a dangerous, unsustainable temperature, often dissolving into irritability, paranoia, or severe disconnect from reality. Eventually, the manic episode inevitably collapses into a devastating depressive low, crashing you into a dark pit where lifting a single finger requires immense physical effort. The severe contrast makes the depression feel even heavier, because you vividly remember what it felt like to fly so high. A similar sense of total loss of control occurs during panic disorder, where the body sounds a false alarm so severe that it feels like dying in real time. A panic attack strikes without warning, causing your heart to beat so violently that you become convinced you're suffering a massive heart attack. Your chest tightens, oxygen feels completely cut off, your limbs go numb, and intense dizziness makes the room spin. The true trap of panic disorder lies in the anticipatory fear of the next attack, causing your world to shrink smaller and smaller as you begin avoiding public spaces, highways, and social gatherings out of fear of your own body's unpredictable reactions. At the most complex end of human psychology lie disorders that alter social connection, identity, and the very concept of objective reality, such as borderline personality disorder, schizophrenia, and dissociative identity disorder. BPD turns the emotional regulation system upside down, turning ordinary emotional waves into devastating tsunamis. People with BPD lack an emotional buffer, meaning a minor event like a delayed text message can trigger immense rage, intense grief, or an overwhelming fear of abandonment. They experience extreme black and white thinking, viewing loved ones as completely perfect one moment and horribly malicious the next, making stable relationships exceptionally difficult to maintain. Meanwhile, schizophrenia represents a severe fracture in how the brain filters reality itself. Dysfunctional dopamine pathways cause the mind to build experiences out of thin air, generating vivid auditory hallucinations like critical voices commenting on your actions, alongside intense delusions that make you believe unbelievable conspiracies are targeted directly at you. It is a deeply isolating medical nightmare where you can no longer trust your own eyes, ears, or thoughts. Finally, dissociative identity disorder showcases the ultimate survival mechanism of a mind pushed beyond human limits. Born out of extreme, repeated childhood trauma, the young mind copes by compartmentalizing its identity into distinct alters to hold traumatic memories that the main consciousness could not survive. These alters possess distinct personalities, memories, and behaviors, creating internal fragmentation. Ultimately, none of these mental disorders represent personal failures or character flaws. They are profound biological and psychological conditions of the human brain. Understanding their real underlying mechanisms is the essential first step toward empathy, breaking social stigma, and helping those in dark places realize that they are not broken and they never have to fight their own minds alone.